Today we hear again the beautiful story of the prodigal son. We all know the story. The son who wants everything that belongs to him, his inheritance, takes it from his father and then runs away. And then eventually, after having lost everything because of his wasteful life, decides to turn back and visit the father, to be a servant. But he's accepted rather as a son, as someone who he always was, really. And this, I think, is what I'd like to focus on today, the dignity of the son. You see, many times we think of dignity as something that we can lose, something that we can waste away because of our own actions or because of how someone treats us. But in reality, our dignity as children of God is always present. It can never be lost. So when the son runs away from home, he takes his inheritance. He takes whatever in some sense signifies his sonship, that inheritance. And then little by little he loses it all. And he feels that now, because he's working with pigs, with animals, and he's living really like an animal, he feels as though he has become an animal. He feels as though he has lost his humanity. And certainly if he's lost his humanity, he's lost his sonship. He's lost his dignity. And so when he decides finally that, he might as well turn back to the Father, he thinks the only thing that I'm worthy for now, the only thing that I could be ever accepted as, is as a servant, as a slave to my Father, because I've lost my humanity. So he runs back, and what does he find? His Father restores to him all the signs of his humanity, the finest robe, of the finest ring on his finger, sandals on his feet. He's clothed again in everything that makes him human. He becomes, in some sense, what he really always was, the Son of the Father. This is a reminder for us, that when we sin, sometimes we feel that we've lost everything. We've lost all of our dignity. We're not worth anything. That God would never want us back because of how we've betrayed him, how we've treated him, how we've mocked him to his face. But the reality is God always sees us as his sons and daughters. In his eyes, we have never really lost our dignity. We think we have. Other people sometimes looking at us judge us and think that we've lost everything, that we're not worth anything anymore. But to God, we always have our dignity. We always have our worth. But we only find it in relationship with him. So let us, in this season of Lent, let us turn back to God, to the Father. If we have any sins in our past that make us feel ashamed, any habits, addictions that we might have even currently that make us feel less than human, that make us feel unworthy of the Father's love, let us beg him for the grace to feel again that sense of being a child of his. And in feeling that once more, in understanding that in the depths of our heart, let us then have the courage to overcome those sins, those addictions, those temptations, those bad memories, so that we might again understand who we are and live as true sons and daughters of God.